Alright, what a beautiful day to open up the pool. I usually do it every year by myself. So I'm just going to go through all the steps that I take to open up my pool. One of the things that you're going to need if you have a safety cover like I do is you're going to need this, this metal stick. It has a little bit of groove. You can see a little groove on the side here that goes into the straps, the strap hooks, and I'll show you how this is done. Alright, so as you can see, there's a little groove here that just sticks in here of the hooks here, and you just kind of, I don't know if you can see that, but you take the edge there where the groove is, and you twist down, and that comes off, and you lift it on an angle and it comes off, and then the straps just come off. And I'll show you when we actually install the safety cover in the fall, that goes in the opposite way. Alright, that was pretty easy. As you can tell, the pool is still pretty blue. I like to open up the pool in the springtime as early as possible, so that with the milder weather, the algae starts to grow, and then if you wait too long, the pool's going to turn green, and then you're going to have to drop a lot of chemicals in there. It's just not good for the water. So I like to open it up as early as possible so this water's still blue. And as you can tell too, the water's starting to overflow or right to the rim. So you want to open it up as early as possible so that the water doesn't get right to the top and then actually starts to leak or seep into the liner. So the earlier the better, in my perspective. Less chemicals, and then you prevent liner damage. And as you can tell, it's pretty sunny out, so the cover is going to dry out in the grass, and then I'm going to clean it up a little bit, fold it, and then store it away. So again, the water is just above the skimmer here, so it's just about to reach the edge of the liner, the top of the liner. So you don't want that to, with some more rainfall, it can just get right to the top of the liner and then start to seep over to the edge there, so you don't want that to happen. As you can tell, the pool is still pretty clear. I can see the bottom of the pool, so that's good. I'm just gonna get the pump going, and then start to vacuum this debris out in the bottom while backwashing it to the street, so it'll be nice and clear. And again, the advantage of doing it right now is it'll, once you vacuum and backwash, it'll get right down to the level that you need it to be. Alright. One of the things you need to do to get the pump started again is to first unplug all the outlets from the pool. And the water's pretty cold, so I find that after putting your hand in the cold water after a while and unscrewing all this, like your hand starts to get numb from how cold the water is, especially when you're opening up really early in the springtime. So I found a trick, an easy trick for this. And you basically take a garbage bag, you put your arm in the garbage bag, and then you kind of strap it on a little bit. Try to keep your arm nice and dry, and you just basically unscrew the plugs. Alright, loosen it up enough that you can just go in and just unscrew it by hand, and then keep your arm dry, keep it nice and warm, and you'll be able to do that for the entire way around the pool. Alright. turned all the power on in the pool shed, and before I turn everything on, I have to put all the fittings back on, install the salt cell generator, chlorine generator back on. This is a really good handy thing to have. It's a lube tube. You can get it at any pool store, but basically you just put the lube onto the rubber seals on these tips on the edges of this fitting, so it keeps it from getting too dry over the summer. And I also put that before I close down the pool as well to keep the rubber from getting too dry, and then you're gonna have to replace the rubber. So alright, so I'm gonna put everything back together and then we'll fire up the pump. So as you can see, there's these rubber fittings, rings there around the edges or around the fittings there. So I like to put just some lube there, just to keep it lubricated throughout the summer, keep it from getting dry and then it breaks. All right, all the fittings are now installed back and tightened, and so basically now you put, to get the pump started, you put it back out of winterized mode and put it into regular filter mode. All right, it should be labeled on your filter, and then before you close up the pump area, I generally like to take the water hose, and put water in through the pipes. It makes it easier for the pump to get started, so basically jump starting the pumps, because the pump only works when water is flowing through, and it's easier on the suction. Alright, so I'm just filling this up, making sure all the water is getting through all the pipes. And again, that'll make it easier for us to start this pump. Just let it go through. Now, before I close that off, I'll turn on the pump just to start the suction through the pipes and get the water flowing through there. So you fill up the pump with water. You turn it on. Let the water suck in there and let it go through the pipes. You fill it up some more. Turn it on again. So the water just circulates through the pipes. So now I've gone ahead and sealed the pump. Now I'm just going to again do the turn and on and off, just so that the flow in. Alright, I got the pump going, got some good flow. I'm just going to let that run for a bit, and then I'm going to get the vacuum installed so that I can start vacuuming all the debris. Put the setting on the filter to waste as I'm vacuuming. So I'm going to throw all the water that I'm sucking in with all the debris out to the sewage. Before you start vacuuming the pool and drain it to the water level that it should be, I suggest you scrub the liners, because you can see the algae starting to grow where the water line is. So I just take a scrubber and just kind of scrub it off, and then before I put the shock on the pool, it'll kill all that algae. Alright, once you're ready to go and vacuum the pool, you basically turn on the pump and you put it on waste. So what that'll do is you're going to be vacuuming all the debris from the pool, and then just instead of going through the filter it'll just go to waste, which is it'll go out through the waste and out into the sewage. Not sure you can see there, but I've started vacuuming half the pool there, and all the debris from the bottom of the pool will now just go from the vacuum out through to waste. And that's important to have somewhat of a filled pool, so the water will go down pretty fast. So you have to vacuum pretty fast, and if you run out of water, just start to fill it up again. But there should be enough water to clean the bottom of this pool. All right, so as you can see, I've vacuumed most of the stuff from the bottom of the pool. I've done half of it, but you have to actually watch out for your filter, because all the debris gets clogged into the filter, so you have to stop it from time to time. So one of the things you have to watch out for is you vacuum a quarter of the pool, and all the debris gets stuck in there, and you'll see all the junk from the bottom, all the worms, the leaves, and all the branches that have fallen through the safety cover will be all stuck in there. So you have to actually turn off the pump every quarter of the pool once, just to clean that out. And you'll see what I mean. So this is all the stuff that gets stuck in the filter screen. You just have to watch out and just clean it out. As I said, once you're quarter done cleaning vacuuming the pool, you turn it off and just clean this out so that you get full power on the pump. And you do that about 3 to 4 times. Alright, so like I said, the pool water is up to the rim, so that's just enough to be able to vacuum the pool entirely, while throwing out all the debris and all the dirt that we get from vacuuming the pool. So by the time it gets to the level that we want it to be, the bottom of the pool will be nice and clean and ready for the chemicals, the startup chemicals to be. All right, it's time for chemicals to be put in the pool. It's still light out, so I'm not going to put the chlorine. I'm going to need to shock the pool. And I bought a box of this HTH startup kit at Costco. Now, I also bought some algicide and some extra socket shock treatments throughout the summer. So I bought this all at Costco. I mean, you can get it at any pool store, but I find just Costco was a little bit cheaper. This stuff, the algicide, is just for maintenance. As you can tell from here, it's the Algae Guard 15. That means it's more diluted. It's not as concentrated as some of the smaller bottles that you'd see that's more expensive. But this is nice for just weekly maintenance, to make sure that there's no algae growing into your pool. So this is the most important part, the startup kit. It comes with 4 liters of degreaser, 2 bags of the startup kit, the startup shock, and 1 liter of metal and stain defense. Now, this is only covering an 80,000 liter pool. Mine's 98,000 liters, so I'm a little bit short, but I find 1 box of this is good enough. And then I also bought the shock, the extra shock, so I can put an extra bag just to give it that top off for the shock treatment. So in the box, like it says, it has the 2 shock treatments bottles. I'm going to add another bag, like I said, a bag to just top this off for the shock treatment. And then we have the degreaser, and then finally we have the metal and stain defense. So the first thing that the instructions say is to do the degreaser first. So you want to pour this around the perimeter of the pool, And then it says to wait 12 hours, so it's about 5 o'clock right now, so it's a little too late for me to add the shock treatment. So I'll wait until tomorrow at dusk to add the shock treatment. And then after 2 days, I'm supposed to add the metal and stain defense. And that's about it. So the last item is a bag of pool salt. Now, I bought this bag at Costco for $6 a bag. It's a 20-gram bag. I find that I only need one bag at the start of the season. My pool is a low salt chlorinator, and so it doesn't require as much salt in the water. Now, it's better to add the bags half at a time and then check the water levels, because if you add too much salt in the water, then it's harder to get the salt levels down, and you'd have to actually literally take out tons of water and then add salt slowly up again. So it's better just to add the salt gradually, measure a lot, and so that you don't have to waste a lot of water to get the salt levels up. So that's about it for opening up your pool by yourself. It wasn't too hard. It saves me about $300 to $400 of pool opening services. And plus, I find when you use these services, they tend to add tons and tons of chemicals, and then you have to pay for those chemicals. And when you do it yourself, you just use less. And again, if you open it up early in the spring, the water is not green, it's nice and blue, and it does save you from adding lots of harsh chemicals in your water. And again, it saves you some cost. So hope that helps out. Hope you found the video useful, and enjoy your summer.